They say AI can predict almost everything, weather, stock markets, even human behavior. But can it predict the moon sighting for Ramadan and Eid? If AI claims to see the crescent before our own eyes do, should we trust it? Or does Islam require us to rely on traditional moon sighting? The answer might surprise you. Moon sighting is one of the most important traditions in Islam, determining the start and end of Ramadan, Eid, and other key Islamic dates. For centuries, Muslims have looked to the sky, following the sunnah of the Prophet. But now, AI and advanced astronomical calculations claim they can tell us exactly when the new moon appears, without ever stepping outside. So, is AI moon sighting the future? Does it align with Islamic teachings? Or does it take away from the spirit of Islamic tradition? In today's video, we'll explore AI's role in moon sighting, the science behind its predictions, and the Islamic perspective on using technology for religious purposes. Every year, as the holy month of Ramadan approaches, millions of Muslims worldwide eagerly wait for the official announcement of the moon sighting. This simple yet profound event determines when fasting begins and ends, marking the start of Eid celebrations. However, this moment of spiritual anticipation often turns into confusion and disagreement. While some countries declare the beginning of Ramadan based on physical moon sighting, ru'yah, others rely on astronomical calculations to determine the lunar calendar in advance. This discrepancy leads to some Muslims fasting on different days, causing division even among people living in the same country. At the heart of this issue lies a fundamental debate. Should we rely solely on the naked eye to sight the moon, as practiced by the Prophet Muhammad and his companions? Or should we embrace modern technology, including AI-powered astronomical predictions, to determine the start of Ramadan and Eid with greater precision? To understand why Muslims face this dilemma, we must first examine the root causes. The key factors contributing to the moon sighting debate include the difference between ru'yah and hizb. Islamic tradition historically follows two methods of determining the start of the lunar month. Ru'yah, physical sighting. This method requires individuals to observe the crescent moon with the naked eye. It is the most widely accepted practice and is directly based on the teachings of the Prophet. Hizb, astronomical calculations. This approach uses mathematical and scientific calculations to predict the moon's visibility, often without requiring actual sighting. Some scholars argue that ru'yah is the only valid method since it was explicitly mentioned in hadith. Others believe that hizb is a practical and accurate alternative that aligns with Islamic teachings on knowledge and scientific advancement. Another complication arises from whether the moon sighting should be considered local or global. Some countries, such as Saudi Arabia, follow a centralized moon sighting method, meaning that if the moon is seen anywhere within the country, the entire nation observes Ramadan or Eid accordingly. In contrast, other nations, such as Morocco and Pakistan, prefer local moon sighting, ensuring that the moon is visible in their own geographical region before declaring the start of the new month. With AI and astronomical calculations, scientists can now predict whether the moon will be visible in any part of the world, raising the question, should Muslims follow a global standard or maintain regional differences? One of the biggest challenges with ru'yah is human error. Many times, people mistake stars, clouds, or even airplane contrails for crescent moon. Atmospheric conditions, light pollution, and individual eyesight variations all contribute to potential mistakes in moon sighting reports. This leads to situations where different groups within the same country announce conflicting moon sighting results, creating confusion and division. AI, however, eliminates this problem by using precise calculations to determine when and where the moon will be visible with certainty. Islam has always embraced scientific advancements, provided they do not contradict core religious principles. The Quran itself encourages seeking knowledge and reflecting on the universe. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and the day are signs to those of understanding. Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 190. This raises an important question. If we use AI for medicine, navigation, and even Islamic studies, why not for moon sighting? Many scholars and religious authorities argue that physical moon sighting is the only valid method for determining the start of Ramadan and Eid. Their reasoning is based on the following points. The Prophet Muhammad instructed his followers to begin fasting upon seeing the moon and to end fasting upon seeing it again. Fast when you see it, the new moon, and break your fast when you see it. Sahih al-Bukhari 1909, Sahih Muslim 1081. This hadith explicitly mentions seeing the moon, which many scholars interpret as a direct command to rely on visual sighting rather than calculations. Since the Prophet and his companions relied on ru'yah, many believe that this practice should not be altered. Using AI or calculations, they argue, replaces an essential sunnah act with a technological method that was not prescribed by the Prophet. Moon sighting is not just a technical process. It is an act of worship that brings communities together. Gathering to look for the moon fosters unity and preserves Islamic traditions. If AI replaces ru'yah, an important sunnah practice may fade away over time. On the other hand, modern scholars and scientists argue that AI-based moon prediction is a logical and valid approach within Islamic teachings. Their reasons include, every year, the Ummah faces unnecessary division due to conflicting moon sighting reports. If AI and astronomical calculations are used, Muslims worldwide can unify under one confirmed lunar calendar, preventing confusion and disagreements. Islam encourages seeking knowledge and using reason. The Quran states, "And he has subjected for you the night and day and the sun and moon, and the stars are subjected by his command. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who reason." Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 16-12. If Allah has given us the ability to understand celestial movements with precision, shouldn't we use this knowledge to improve our practices? Historically, Muslim scholars like al-Biruni, Ibn al-Shatter, and al-Tasi made significant advancements in astronomy. Even during the Abbasid Caliphate, Islamic civilizations used calculations to predict prayer times and lunar phases. Thus, using AI is not an innovation. It is a continuation of Islamic scientific heritage. Physical moon sighting depends on many unpredictable factors, including human error, weather conditions, and geographical location. AI removes these uncertainties, providing 100% accurate predictions based on proven scientific data. If calculations can be used for prayer times, why not for moon sighting? Given both perspectives, some scholars propose a balanced approach. Use AI and calculations for predictions. Governments and Islamic scholars can use AI to anticipate moon visibility, reducing uncertainty. Confirm with physical sighting while calculations are reliable. Ru'yah can still be practiced to maintain the sunnah. Unify the Ummah instead of each country making independent moon sighting decisions. Muslim-majority nations could establish a central Islamic council that integrates both AI and ru'yah for consensus. Technology is not inherently good or bad. It's how we use it. AI can assist in moon sighting, but it shouldn't replace the sunnah unless Islamic scholars unanimously agree. This is a crucial point that must be understood in the broader context of how Islam approaches scientific advancements. Islam is a religion that has always encouraged the pursuit of knowledge. The Quran frequently calls upon believers to reflect, observe, and seek understanding. Science, in many ways, is a means of discovering the intricate details of Allah's creation. The question of whether AI should replace traditional moon sighting is not merely a technical one. It is deeply rooted in Islamic jurisprudence, tradition, and the collective wisdom of scholars who have safeguarded religious practices for centuries. In Islamic history, there has never been an opposition between faith and science. Instead, science has been used as a tool to strengthen faith. From early Muslim astronomers who mapped the stars to mathematicians who developed algebra, Islam has always encouraged knowledge. However, knowledge in Islam is not just about technical advancements. It must be in line with divine principles and ethical considerations. The question of AI and moon sighting is a perfect example of this balance. If AI can enhance accuracy and reduce disputes, then it serves a useful purpose. But if it leads to division or strays from prophetic teachings, then its role must be reassessed. The issue is not about rejecting technology, but about integrating it in a way that aligns with Islamic values. One of the key principles in Islamic jurisprudence is the concept of ijma, consensus among scholars. When new issues arise, scholars analyze them based on the Quran, Sunnah, and past rulings. In the case of AI and moon sighting, some scholars argue that calculations can be used to predict the moon's visibility, while others maintain that actual sighting is essential. Until a unanimous agreement is reached, both perspectives must be respected. This debate is not new. The difference between relying on calculations versus physical sighting has existed for centuries. What makes AI different is that it introduces a level of precision that was previously unattainable. However, precision alone does not dictate Islamic rulings. Spiritual and communal aspects must also be considered. At its core, Islam emphasizes unity. Ramadan and Eid are meant to be collective experiences that bring Muslims together. One of the main concerns with AI-based moon sighting is that it could further divide the Ummah if different groups adopt different methods. The ultimate goal is not just to know when the new month begins, but to ensure that Muslims worldwide observe it together. While AI can provide data, it cannot replace the sense of community that comes with traditional moon sighting. In many Muslim countries, families and scholars gather to observe the crescent moon. This act is not just about confirming the new month. It is a deeply spiritual and communal experience. If AI is to be used, it must complement rather than replace these traditions. Instead of asking whether AI should replace traditional moon sighting, a more beneficial question would be, can AI enhance our religious practices without disrupting them? The answer is yes, if it is used correctly. For example, AI can be used to provide accurate predictions to help Muslims prepare for Ramadan and Eid in advance, assist scholars in verifying moon sightings by analyzing atmospheric conditions, educate Muslims about how the lunar calendar works and the importance of moon sighting in Islam, reduce confusion and disputes by offering reliable information backed by scientific data. The problem arises when AI is seen as a replacement rather than an assistant. If scholars and communities completely abandon traditional moon sighting in favor of AI, it could set a precedent where religious practices become purely technical, losing their spiritual and communal essence. It is important to remember that the Sunnah of the Prophet is not just about actions, it is about the spirit behind those actions. The Prophet encouraged the physical act of moon sighting because it was accessible to everyone, simple, and created a shared experience among Muslims. If AI is introduced in a way that maintains these values, then it can be a useful tool. However, completely replacing the Sunnah method with AI would require careful scholarly deliberation. Just as Islam adapted to new advancements in navigation, medicine, and communication, while preserving its core teachings, AI should be approached with the same mindset, as a tool that serves religion, not as a force that changes it. Science and Islam are not separate. They are two lenses through which we see Allah's creation. This quote encapsulates the essence of how Muslims should view AI and other technological advancements. Islam does not reject science, but also does not accept scientific progress at the cost of religious integrity. The two must work together harmoniously, ensuring that faith remains a guiding force behind technological integration. As Muslims, we must embrace science while staying true to our faith. Whether we use AI or the naked eye, the goal remains the same, to follow the command of Allah and the teachings of the Prophet. If AI can help reduce confusion and bring greater unity among Muslims, then it has a positive role to play. But if it creates more division or distances us from the Sunnah, then we must reconsider its application. The key takeaway is this technology should serve Islam, not the other way around. By approaching AI with wisdom, balance, and scholarly guidance, we can ensure that advancements in science enhance our faith rather than replace its sacred traditions. If you found this video insightful, subscribe to AI and Islam Explained for more deep discussions on AI and Islamic teachings.